Hello, welcome to ITT Talks with Anastasia Lavrina. This week, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, received the Deputy Prime Minister of the Russian Federation, Alexei Overchuk. The meeting highlighted the successful outcomes in the economic cooperation between the two countries during the year 2023. During the meetings, the sides also exchanged the views on the issues related to transport and logistics and the promotion of the North-South transport corridor. More details in my program now. Joining me from Moscow, Stanislav Pritchin, Senior Research Fellow, Institute of World Economics and International Relations. Hello and welcome to IT Talks.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you so much for joining ITT Talks. And let's start our discussion with the importance of the visit Deputy Prime Minister of Russia to Azerbaijan this week.
As a result of these negotiations on the high level, on the level of deputy prime ministers, it was achieved quite significant results. So first of all, was signed a plan roadmap for Russian-Azerbaijani cooperation for next 3 years. And importance of this document is so high because previous documents or goals of previous documents were achieved successfully. And in such circumstances, of course, it's very important to set up schedule and plans and goals for strategic cooperations, especially on the new level of our cooperation after final resolution of the Karabakh issues. And in this regard, also, it's very important to mention that partly these meetings was also about the possible implementation of the third lateral agreement, which was signed as the end of the Second Karabakh War. And first of all, the trying to repair the transport communications at the South Caucasus. In this regard, Russia and Azerbaijan obviously have very common, very close interest, first of all, towards Zangezur corridor and transparent and open status of it, especially during the crossing the Armenians.
How would you characterize the prospects of the North-South transport corridor at the moment?
Of course, North-South corridor strategically for the long period of time is one of our keystone of our cooperation, and especially now when we see that there is a progress in realization of the last railroad part in Iran, because Azerbaijan and Russia several years ago completed all its duty within this project and developed its infrastructure for the future transit. And the only side is Iran, which is quite problematic. And now we see that Russian Railway agreed to send money to invest in this project and to engage it as the technical operator for restoration and construction the last part of the railroad. In these circumstances, we could see that in 4 years probably we can expect the start of the full project of North-South through Iran, from the Persian Gulf to Azerbaijan and to Russia. And even now we could see that our cooperation in transport area is quite significant volume of transit has been increasing year after year, but with this project, of course, it will be absolutely different dimension and different level of our cooperation, especially in this logistic area.
Let me ask you a question about the environment. What environmental and social aspects have been taken into account in the implementation of this project?
Yeah, green energy is a quite modern and quite significant part of especially political narratives and political arena. Of course, each country is trying to using this agenda for increasing its importance, and Azerbaijan in this regard probably one of the most successful, despite the fact that Azerbaijan traditionally is a supplier of oil and gas, traditional carbon energy resources. But we see that there is a strategic goal to change philosophy of economy of Azerbaijan and for the future. In this regard, of course, it's quite important, especially in regional dimension, to shift this project and to shift this transformation from oil and gas, which is not for the all time, but of course in probably in middle soon it will be not so important and significant for Azeri energy, and in such circumstances, of course, this is strategically very important direction of foreign and internal policy of Azerbaijan. Of course, each country is trying to using it and has its own vision. So, for example, Russia, on the one hand, supports this global trend to decline emission, but at the same time, of course, we have our own resources, we have our own philosophy of our economy. In such circumstances, it's not easy to just to shift, to change your political agenda. It cannot change immediately your economy and your future. In such circumstances, of course, we could see that Russia has its own way. First of all, through developing of nuclear energy, as from the point of view of carbon emission is quite neutral and might be considered as green. But of course, this is some countries don't support this point of view.
And how does this project interact with the existing transport and logistics communications, which we can see in the region of the South Caucasus and in the region itself?
In ideal world, of course, in 2-3 years, we can have the quite effective rapid transport system at the South Caucasus. So we have all projects. So first of all, on the level of trilateral Azerbaijani, Armenian, Russian government commission, agreed all projects which can really help in near future to restart full cooperation and transport area in at the South Caucasus region. First of all, through Zangezur corridor, because it's strategically important for Azerbaijan, especially taking into account some technical problems with Baku-Tbilisi cars and limitation of capability of this project. Of course, Zangezur corridor is quite strategic for Azerbaijan, and not just for Azerbaijan, because so we also have to understand that Russian Railways is an technical operator of Armenian railway system. It means that this is also in Russian interest to have cooperation with Azerbaijan here, because transit through Armenia and through the Armenian part will increase, especially taking into account that it's just 42 kilometers through Armenian territory, and Azerbaijan almost completed its part on the Azerbaijani territory. And Zulfa in Nakhchivan has direct railway connection with Iran. It means that just through by construction of these short railways, it might be the complete north-south corridor for the time while the construction of Kazvin-Resht is being constructed now. So it means that we can start this railway even earlier than will be completed the last part of Iranian railways. Of course, this is also interest of Armenia, but this is the condition of Azerbaijan to open other direction and connections with Armenia. So north part of railways, which really might be breakthrough for Armenian railways and connections. First of all, with Russia as one of the biggest trade partner, and of course, this is the ideal picture when all these projects will be developed, will be open all existing roads and new projects and development, and of course it will be very important impulse for economical development in the region and interaction within the South Caucasus, and transit weight of and importance of South Caucasus will be increasing drastically.
Well, in the beginning of this program, I also mentioned the high level of the cooperation, especially in the economy between Baku and Moscow. What expectations does Moscow have from Baku when it comes to infrastructure, security, and regional development?
On the one hand, we have all our agreements, dimensions of cooperation with these, for example, the Caspian Dialogue, so the convention, despite the fact that Iran hasn't agreed and hasn't ratified this document, this is a working document because Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and Azerbaijan are following all its elements, and first of all, from the point of view of security. Moreover, Russia and Azerbaijan have its own agenda for security within our agreements, which were signed by our presidents. At the same time, we have some expectations from reconciliation relations between Armenia and Azerbaijan, because this is the common interest from the point of view of security, from the point of view of economical development of the region. So, of course, Russia is trying to be a moderator, to be the peace dealer here in order to decline any risks and challenges for security, and in order to create a peaceful environment, not just for economical projects, but for citizens, for general security environment and stable environment here in South Caucasus. So from this perspective, of course, Russia is trying to support all initiatives, all projects which somehow will help to achieve this strategic goal.
And my last question, what difficulties you can mention in shaping the agenda we are talking about today?
Of course, the main challenge is the lack of readiness of Armenia to implement its duty within existing documents. First of all, so several statements of Armenian officials said that Armenia is trying to change the duty to avoid direct implementing. So speaking, for example, that there is no such environment which when it was signed and conditions and circumstances have changed, and we have to change our approaches towards, for example, for Zangezur corridor. In such circumstances, of course, the main question how you can change your agreement with other partners. So, of course, this is the challenge for reconciliation and all these regional goals. I would say that Western approach also is not clear enough, and it's not directly following the goal to achieve the peace in the region. So strategically for the West countries, the main goal is to decline Russian influence in the region, or even more, just to push out Russia as the important player in the region. And unfortunately, when you have such instrumental goal, it's it's not it's not very good for the region, because when you consider a region as just a battle, the field for battle with your geopolitical opponents, but not like an important region where you can help to become more safe, more economically developed. You can see results that we see. One side approach, and when you don't have strategic goal for developing region, for reconciliation, all your steps finally lead to additional conflicts, to problems with implementation, agreed documents. So all statements, all documents which were signed on the Western tracks of negotiations in Brussels, in Washington, finally haven't brought any positive results for negotiations. We could see Azerbaijan itself decide all issues which couldn't be achieved through negotiations, despite the fact how was it at Moscow, was it in Brussels, and finally we could see that yes, the West is the most counterproductive external player for peace and stability and development of South Caucasus.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining the program today.
It was my pleasure.